So now we talked about going into a song, kind of creating one and programming it with the different cues. Now we'll talk about executing and actually running through a set of songs. So we have the first song programmed in. We'll just bring in some other pre-programmed songs that we'll go through. So for instance, we'll take another stone, so I'll assign that one. Yeah, all of a sudden we'll use that one. We'll assign that one down here, and let's get another one as well. So back into the programming, we have our first song we just run through. We don't really have to do anything for the first song, well, after it's programmed. For the second song, if we go if we're programming the song, make sure that it's selected. That's important. But if these songs are already programmed, the only thing you really have to worry about is going into that cue list, and you see this command right here. I'm going to remove that for now. So essentially what happens is, so if we're in this first song and we want to go into the second one, we'll press the second cue, and so now we see the little bar for the second song is going through. However, kind of messed up on me. Give me 1 second. Let me just add an effect here. Store cue 1. Okay. Just for the sake of the demo. All right, so we're in this first song and we go into the second one. So you see the second one's going up, but the first one is still on. So now, basically both of the songs are on at the same time. And in the second one, in the first cue, we don't have any effects going on, but we see the effects from the first song are still active and being applied, and it's not doing what we want. So you can either manually turn the song off, and there's a few different ways to turn the song off. You can press the off button and then touch the song up there, or press it down here, and you see that it's snapped off, and we'll talk about that in a second. Or if we're in the first song, you can press the bottom one. So you gotta be careful pressing some of these buttons up here. The top row of buttons selects the songs, just kind of a faster way. So you can press that to select. The bottom one right below it is why you have to be careful. That turns the song off. So when you press that, it turns it off. Now, you see that when I turned it off, the song snap off. That's because songs have what's called an off time in how long it takes to actually fade out. So to do that, we'll go into the song here, and we don't actually need anything here. We just close it out, and it brings up this separate, this window is always here, but now it has the correct value. So for instance, if I select these lights, this is typically what it looks like. And so we go into the song, we close it, and now it changes a little bit. You see it's this kind of tannish color. There's the off time. So right now, the off time is default, which is 0 seconds. It doesn't have a default. So typically we set this to 3 or 4 seconds. So now when we change it to 4 and hit please, now we'll go into that song and we will turn it off. And we see that it's starting to fade off, and it slowly fades out rather than snapping off. So that's setting the off time. So we're in this one song, and if we want to go into the second song, so we'll fire that second one. The first song is still going to be on. So when we go in, you can either, go into that and manually turn off the first song, but we kind of automate things to make it a little easier. So once they're set in here, I'm going to turn the second song off for now. And the very first cue, since this is the second executor, so the executors are the actual buttons and faders that are down here. Since this is in executor 2, is the second song, we want that one to turn off executor 1. So in the command, we can edit that and type in off exec, short for executor, and then 1. So now when we go into the first cue, oh wait, I'll show that again. So now the command says off executor 1, and there's this command delay of 4 seconds, which I'm actually going to turn that to 0 for now, and I'll show you what that does. So we go into that second song, and now as soon as we fire that second song, it starts to turn the first one off. Which is looking a lot better than what it did. Now it's actually turning it off. However, there's a lot of cases where if the first song turns off as soon as you go into the second one, it does some weird, not necessarily weird behavior, but you might see the lights kind of go up and back down again. So typically it's better to set this command delay to the length of the cue, the first cue in here. So for instance, this cue is 4 seconds. The fade time is 4 seconds. So we set this command delay for 4 seconds, which means that it's gonna wait until we're completely in this first cue before it runs this command to turn off the first song. So now I'm gonna go into the first song. Now we're in the first song, we go into the second one. So we go into the second one, the first song's still on, and as soon as we're completely in the second song, then it turns the first song off. And it's a lot smoother movement. It looks nicer, it just makes everything feel better. So that's how you set the off time. Now, for instance, right after the second song, if we're going into the third one, what we'll do is do the same command. So the third song, that's in executor 3, and so we want that one to turn off executor 2. So I'm going to edit this here. So we're going to do off executor 2. The command delay, you could do a longer command delay than the cue, but I typically just have it set the same. So we'll do 4 seconds. Now we go into the third song. It's going to go into the third song, and once we're completely in there, it'll turn that second one off. Now the second one's snapped off, which you still don't really want it to snap off. So we want to set the off time again to 4 seconds. And same with the third song, we need to set that off time to 4 seconds. Because that needs to be set every time that you assign an executor down here. Because it's not stored in the sequence itself, where the actual song is programmed. It's stored per executor. So for instance, if I delete that second song, and I import it back, I think it was all of a sudden. Now, when I go into there and close it, it resets the off time back to the default of off. So we need to set that back to 4 seconds. Or whatever time you want it to be. So that's kind of how you would do that. Now I will show this main page a little bit. We'll go into this in a little bit more detail, but we have all these macros that do presets, these macros fire multiple executors at the same time to get us to where we need. But I was going to show, we have this one called the set song off time. So for instance, you just touch that and it's going to set all these songs off time to 4 seconds. Just kind of a quick way so you don't have to go in, close it, and set it. So that is how we assign songs, update them to where we can run them, and then actually run through some of them.